And welcome back to Black Renaissance. I want to welcome the local artist Mahader Tesfaye. Welcome. I had a brief chance just to look at some of your artwork, and I was really blown away at some of the colors and the lines. I mean, just some really vibrant work that you have. And you're Eritrean American. So talk to me about what sort of inspired your work. I mean, it is very sort of Afrocentric, right?
Definitely. First, thanks for having me here.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you appreciated my artwork.
Most definitely.
In terms of things that inspire me from my artwork, there's a range of influences. First off, I'm Eritrean, so kind of the history of my family and where we come from is definitely a personal inspiration. I came to the U.S. as a refugee from Kassala, Sudan, and my family, my mom and dad and brother and I came here, and growing up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and making our way here, English not being our first language, and kind of making our way in the U.S. has definitely been a personal source of inspiration. Beyond that, as a visual artist, being from cities such as Oakland, which is where I spent the last half of my adult life, there's just such an amazing history of art and just political history as well, whether you want to talk about the Black Panthers or just a lot of the various arts movements that have kind of come through Oakland, whether it's music or whatnot, and even currently a lot of the political work that's being done on behalf of by Black youth with the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that are kind of a constant source of inspiration from our artwork as well. All
of that has sort of inspired you.
Absolutely.
When I look at some of these beautiful portraits, I mean, are these portraits of African people or Eritrean people? And what are you trying to communicate about that?
Definitely. Great question. So my artwork, a lot of the work I do, you kind of mentioned I do a lot of line work, a lot of repetitive kind of faces that are overlapping and things like that. And for me, it's really important in my work kind of identifying as a child of diaspora, somebody who grew up in Eritrea but in the U.S. and has this kind of shared identity as Eritrean and also as a Black man in America, and how those oftentimes there's a shared identity with that, and a lot of times people think it's in conflict, but I think in my art I try to show how there's an interconnectedness between Africans throughout the world. And so for me, a lot of the faces and the overlapping nature of my artwork kind of is intended to show the interconnectedness that we have with brothers and sisters from all parts of Africa, whether we're in the U.S. or in diaspora. And so the faces sometimes are specific people, a lot of times they're intentionally not, and kind of have overlapping faces where a male or female figure might be overlapping shared faces and other features, so kind of showing that there's the idea of oneness and that we all come from the same place.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. And looking at it, I have to say there was something familiar just about some of those faces, just sort of universal about them all. You don't just do art though. You're also doing some work. Well, I guess doing art through film as well. So talk to me about your participation in this film festival.
Great. So currently I'm doing several projects. I've been lucky enough to produce almost consistently out of my studio in Oakland for the past year, and it's kind of the culmination of it's kind of been several projects that I'm helping collaborate with. Initially, when I came back to Oakland, I've been in Oakland most of my life, but I've been working in Santa Barbara with UC Santa Barbara with students over there. But since coming back, I was able to do a collaborative art project called Home Away from Home that was in collaboration with musicians, visual artists, and other artists from Eritrea and East Africa. And
that's exciting.
And that was a great project that happened last fall. And since then, I've been working on my own work, and currently there's an exhibition of my artwork, roughly 75 pieces at the Impact Hub in Oakland.
Fantastic.
And later on in the month, I'm collaborating with this film festival called the Matatu Film Festival, and it deals with the whole idea of transport in Africa, and they'd be showing a bunch of films. So initially that was supposed to be kind of a very basic kind of collaboration where I create the artwork for the poster or whatnot, and after conversations with Matatu's one of the creators of Matatu Film Festival, Michael Orange, we kind of discussed the idea of bringing me on board as artistic kind of director for the film festival, and so I've been creating a body of work specifically for the film festival.
That's really exciting. That's so exciting. I saw some of your work online. I can't wait to go check it out at Impact Hub. That's not far from where I am. That's a great space too. Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. If you haven't seen any of his artwork, you want to go online and see it, you can log on to mahader.com. That's MAHADER.com. We'll be right back with more Black Renaissance.